Hello and welcome back to our Premier League predictions, and today I'm joined by Tom, George and Joe, and it's game week 5.
No,
So-
it's 6.
It's game week 6,
oh,
right?
for God's sake.
That's alright.
Um,
Merseyside derby. Let's get going.
4-0 to Liverpool for me. I think Núñez will score 1 on his return from rehab from anger management. I think that Salah will get 2, and you know what? I don't really like him, but Harvey Elliott, he'll get 1. What about the Liverpool fan?
No, I also said 4-0, you copied me, you little rat. Yeah, I think I saw Carvalho starting. We're filming this actually in the morning for the game. Carvalho starting, I reckon he'll score.
Oh,
I think Firmino 2, and I'll go for Elliott 1 as well, why not?
I'm going to go for 3-1 to Liverpool. I know it's at Goodison Park, so I think that Everton will score, and especially considering that Liverpool have been conceding a lot recently.
My question about that though is, what goal threat do Everton really have?
They don't, but
More pay.
But I think
It's more pay.
I don't know. Maybe Anthony Gordon might score. Maybe
Gordon has been scoring.
Maybe yeah.
But he still doesn't really have end product.
He'll
go be really
maybe even a centre back will score. Who knows? Tarkovsky could come up and push a load of people out of the way and header one in. But I'm gonna go 3-1 because it's Goodison Park, but Liverpool are better.
Who's the goal scorers for Liverpool? He's looking out the window like they're just there.
I'm gonna go for 1 for Salah, 1 for Núñez, and is Firmino starting, do we know?
I don't know if he's starting.
If not, then Carvalho.
Anyway, I'm going to go with 3-0 to Liverpool. And who's going to score? I think Carvalho, he's been quite good. I think he got a late. I don't know if it was a winner or equaliser.
Winner, just 2 on.
Alright. And Firmino will get 1, and Núñez is going to get 1.
Okay.
What's the next game?
Brentford v Leeds.
Oh, bloody hell.
Interesting game. That was the relegation battle last season. Remember the final game?
Now it's actually going to be like battle for like
going to be relatively high
top
up
10
in the
potentially.
league.
I've got to go for a 2-1 Leeds. I mean, I think Tyler Adams will score and
That's Larry.
Rodrigo.
He's injured.
Oh, for God's sakes! Like, why get injured? But
it is at Brentford, remember, as well.
Did Dan James go in the end?
He's gone to Fulham.
He doesn't know he's gonna score.
Bloody hell! Someone's gonna score, and for Brentford,
I reckon it could be that.
Tony
Sinister or whatever he's called. I reckon he might.
Sinister. What about you, Joe?
I'm gonna go for a 1-1 draw because Leeds are probably right now better, but Brentford have a good kit.
They have a good kit.
No, that wasn't serious. Brentford are have their goal threat, I think, more when, especially if Rodrigo's injured. They have Ivan Toney, you have Mbuenu, or whatever the guy's name is.
Yeah, his first name's Brian. Why is he?
Yeah,
It's just a weird name.
just call him Brian.
Oh.
Did he get confused with 100 other Brians?
Sorry, Brian.
But yeah, 1-1.
That is one.
Please, George.
Yeah, do you know what? I was thinking a draw before we started filming, but because Rodrigo's injured, I'm going to go for a 1-0 Brentford win. I just think that Leeds, they won't really have a proper goal threat without Rodrigo, and I mean, he didn't really play much, but as a super sub, getting rid of Dan James, bit of pace, so they don't have that either, and Sinestro hasn't done too much so far, so I'm not convinced that Leeds would score this game without Rodrigo sort of being their main man so far, and I think players like Tony and Bueno, their midfielders have been doing quite a lot going forward. I think they'll be able to get one in somehow.
I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw because I think it's going to be quite a tight game. Maybe Brentford might score last minute. And I think Sinister is going to score, and for Brentford, Ivan Toney.
Okay. Stamford Bridge next, then Chelsea versus West Ham.
Ooh, your last
start with the Chelsea.
Your last few games haven't been good.
You know what?
What's going to happen?
I'm going to go 2-0 Chelsea win. I mean, West Ham, I don't really see who's going to score for them.
Drew against Tottenham, didn't they?
Yeah.
Sobchak
Didn't
can
Paqueta-
score. Antonio can score.
Didn't Paqueta look really good when he came on? I didn't actually watch.
No, he didn't really. He had a few good
I heard
drives.
he
It's
did
alright.
He had a few good drives.
But I just say the goal against Tottenham, it weren't.
It was good. But
It was good, but
it
he's
was-
not going to do it week in, week out.
It was
is he?
Tottenham's.
Mistake.
It was the defence's mistake.
Yeah.
Lloris said, "Don't pass it back to me." They passed it back to him. He boots it out of play, and then they'll just stand there and stare at Lloris and focus on the game.
And,
That 5 minutes ago.
Okay,
Anyway.
stop the rhyme.
Yeah, sorry about that.
I think Chelsea. I'm gonna be hopeful and go for an Aubameyang debut goal, And realistically, Sterling will probably get a goal.
Well, lots of
So your
signings they
score?
start the day
2-0.
before, but you
2-0.
you don't really start a signing. You've literally only
No,
just signed. You
no.
normally have him in a couple training sessions first, but
Yeah,
you think
definitely.
he's going to start.
Yeah, but
to
we
get
need a
injured.
striker, to be honest, so
Okay.
probably
Yeah,
just stick him up front.
I'll go next then. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say a West Ham 1-0 win. I think that I didn't actually get to watch the game, but they must have been somewhat decent.
They were
against
decent.
Tottenham. Yeah,
Um,
and I think Paqueta, you said he did all right. I reckon he'll start this game. He'll look a bit better as he grows into the Premier League. I reckon.
To be fair,
He
I
won't
think
be
it
the
was
scorer,
more of
but-
like Tottenham not playing at their best.
No, I watched the game like for the full 90. We were very good, but we couldn't convert our chances in
Yeah.
the final third.
I think-
And also West Ham, I've got to admit, in the last 10-20 minutes, they were all over us.
Yeah,
we
I
were
think
holding
both-
out for a draw.
I think Paqueta will do all right. He's not going to get his first goal for the club yet, but I reckon he'll get an assist for. Let's go for Antonio to score, maybe just a cross after getting out wide. I reckon Antonio puts one in. Chelsea just aren't good enough going forward at the moment, and I think West Ham's defence is solid. So.
I'm going to go with 3-1 to Chelsea. And I think who's going to score? It's going to be Sterling's going to get 2. And who's going to get 1? Let's go with Thiago Silva. He's going to get a header. Why not?
Include the
And
Barney.
So random.
oh, actually, who
I'm
for
gonna,
West Ham? Quattro might get one.
yeah, could do,
You
yeah.
might.
I'm going to go for another 1-1 draw because I reckon West Ham have picked up a bit of form after beating Aston Villa away from home, and then of course holding out the draw at home against Spurs. But they are improving. I think Dave Moyes has found his mojo a bit again now, but they're not really in the same motion as they were last season. Chelsea
Yeah.
will score, especially with it being at home for them. But 1-1 draw.
Yeah, I'm really not sure about my prediction for this game though, because I'm thinking 0-0 at the same time as the 1-0 West Ham, so I don't know
Right.
whether to.
I think it's going to be a bit of a cagey
Switch
affair as
that
well.
up,
Penalties perhaps for both teams.
Lovely.
Yeah, so I'll stick with
Next
1-0.
game.
Newcastle versus Crystal Palace at St James's Park. Who's
Tom,
starting?
start us off.
I think it's going to be a 2-2 draw for this one. I don't think anyone's going to win on this game really. I mean, for Newcastle, I think Gimenez, he's going to get 1, and I think the new signing Isaac, he's going to get 1 as well. For Palace, I think Zaha's going to score 2.
Yeah.
What do you reckon?
I'm going to go out on a limb and go for it's not controversial, but I think a 3-2 Newcastle win. Isaac getting 2 goals, and you know what? Big Joe Linton, he'll get a goal. And I think for Palace, I think it will just be a Zaha double. I mean, no one else really scores for Palace, but I just think I do see one side getting the victory. I just don't think either side would settle for a draw.
I'll be honest, I zoned out there, that's why I let Ryan speak. I didn't actually know what 2 teams we were talking about.
Newcastle v Palace.
I know now, and I'm going to go for
So
a
professional.
2-1 Palace win, I think. Newcastle, they looked pretty good solidly, like defensively against Liverpool, but I think against a worse team like Palace, they'll try and push forward a bit more, and I think that will open up space for Eze or Lise, Zaha, obviously, to get in behind and cause some problems. Although I do think Isaac looked really good, so we'll probably get a goal for Newcastle again.
Yeah, definitely agree with Isak looking good. For Newcastle, of course, first game he got a goal. I think a lot of people I've spoken to have said that they think that it's going to be a high score of 1 of 2 Newcastle would win. I'm going to agree with the high scoring part. Say 3-2.
3-2, I
But
know.
I'm
Oh.
going to go for a 3-2 to Palace.
The opposite
Oh,
of
3-2
me.
to Palace.
Yeah,
Right now.
that's to be different. No, I think in all honesty, Palace they going forward are very good on the counter attack. And I know that Newcastle are at home and they have such an overwhelming fan base when they're at home. But at the same time, I think Palace just have more attacking niche. If you know what I mean, when they go forward, they can. If they get in the box, they could easily score. With
Zaha
Edouard,
this season
Mateta,
just looks on
Zaha,
it, doesn't he?
Elise, even Ayew to some extent can get an assist here and there if he plays. But I would definitely rate Vieira's team to go and win this away from home and get all 3 points. 3-2 Palace.
Do it to Zaha
I mean, I
looks
think
on it at the
Jeffrey Slot
moment.
might
I
get a
won't.
goal.
I won't go that
Jeffrey
far with Are you? He's not too good.
Yeah, but he's always deadly in the box. Anyway, Forest v Bournemouth, kind of a proof.
Am I
Used to be a
starting
championship
this?
battle. This.
Yeah, last season it was Forest v Bournemouth. I'm going to go for a 2-0
Oh,
Forest
you've
win.
stolen
I
mine.
think Bournemouth don't look good enough really. They don't even have a new manager in yet as far as I've seen, and without that organisation they're probably going to let in 2 and people thought that somehow Solanke and like the players had last season would do well in the Premier League. Never really thought that, and yeah, they're not going to be able to do anything against Forest because they've showed a pretty solid back line so far this season. So
Completely
2-0
agree.
Forest.
I'm going to follow up on that and agree with you as well. 2-0 for Forest. I mean, they've got Jesse Lingard, I think, here bang a goal.
He
And,
hasn't played yet, really.
yeah, but I think here bang a goal and Dennis will start and bang a goal for them. Just Bournemouth been very poor. Forest have done alright.
What do we think about the fact that Forest have pretty much signed a whole new squad? I think it was 21 players in the end.
I mean, they've got to get a pretty big team bus now, haven't they?
57 million or something they spent.
I don't know, they spent a lot on loads of
They have
players.
to get a new team bus now as well.
But I'll third that. I'll go for 2-0 Forest as well.
Oh,
Iwanui and Dennis, I reckon, going to get goals.
Is Tom
Tom,
going to
is
complete
it?
it?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with 3-0.
Oh, I ruined it.
Oh. Just to be different.
Well,
To
if you-
two.
No, we're going to go with Forest for this one.
Ah.
Oh.
And who's going to score?
Shocking.
Dennis will get 2, and who's going to get 1? Brennan Johnson is going to get 1.
Okay.
There's a lot of 3 o'clock Saturday games, isn't there?
Well, what's the next game we're going to go
Tottenham
for?
v Fulham.
Whoa.
This should realistically be just a simple Tottenham win. Fulham,
Well, I wouldn't
They
say
can try-
simple.
It is at the
because-
Spurs Stadium.
they're showing they can. Realistically, though, Tottenham should just win.
Who's going
Like,
to start?
I think-
You, obviously,
Okay.
Tottenham fan.
I think Fulham have a lot of backbone, and that's an area where we're going to have to watch out because their resilience and their fighting spirit. We've seen it against Arsenal, and then of course to beat Brighton, Blaine hold on. Bit of antics towards the end, wasn't there, from Mitrovic and Cordova-Reid with the time wasting. But at the same time, I think Tottenham will actually turn it on today. They're a bit inconsistent, Spurs, you know, in terms of whether they show up or whether they do that thing where they tap it about for 48 minutes thinking that their Franz Beckenbauer at the back. And then I'm going to go 3-0 to Tottenham because I reckon, because it's at home, I mean, I could easily see Fulham scoring. But because we're at home, I reckon 3 first half goals and then it'll kind of peter out in the second half.
Yeah, well, I mostly agree with you there. I'm going to go for 2-0 Tottenham. I think that should just be a routine win, really, for them if they're serious about this season. And I think with
No, it's
We're
just a
not
joke
already.
about.
with Conte as well, after dropping points to West Ham, I imagine he'll pretty much get them fired up to actually pick up points and play well again. So I
Also,
think a routine 2-0 win.
I think we've also got to hope that our team isn't too deflated after the penalty situation. You know, they could be feeling, oh, we're hard done by, it's not fair or whatever. But you've got to move on, and that's the key
Got no
area.
Dele Alli anymore. I don't think they'll be doing any joking, dancing around the dressing room. I think, you know, Tottenham are now offside. I think that can grind out a result. And you might think this is a bit too harsh, but I think 2-1 to Tottenham. I think Fulham, they've got such a goal threat in Mitrovic and Heerbag, Fulham's goal. But I think they're a side now capable of grinding out results, and that's what you need to be capable of a top 4 finish, even possibly winning the Prem.
Nah.
So I think,
Mitrovic pocketed by big Eric Dyer.
well, I mean,
So,
Big Van Dijk couldn't pocket him, so
Will Romero played today?
probably. I think
Why is he like injured or something?
He is after Cucurella beat him up in the game. But
beat him up.
he hasn't played since then.
I'm going to go for. I know I've said 2-1. I'm going to go for Harry Kane and Son goals. I just think they grind out a result, but it won't be pretty. But 3 points is 3 points.
I'm going to go with 2-1 to. Who am I going to go with? Spurs, because I think he's going. I think Mitrovic is going to score for Fulham. Because, I mean, Mitrovic has looked quite impressive. I mean, people did expect him to not perform in the Premier League, but I think he's done quite well so far. For Spurs, probably Kane and Kulusevski, probably.
Yeah, I've got 2 for Kane, 1 for Kulu.
Next game up.
Wolves v Southampton at the Molineux.
Is that still 3 o'clock?
Ooh,
Yeah, it's the
an
final 3 o'clock
interesting
game.
Bloody hell.
So Tom, you start.
I'm going to go with. I think it's going to be like one of them 1-1 draws, I think, for this game. I think Southampton are looking good, but. I mean, Wolves haven't looked amazing either, so I think who's going to score for Southampton is going to be. I don't even know now.
Shea Adams?
Rebo, maybe. Shea Adams.
Rebo, actually.
Yeah.
Rebo
for
looked very good.
Probably. Who's that? Matthias Nunes, I think he's going to score.
Ooh, I'm gonna follow up with that, and I'm gonna go for a 2-1 Southampton victory. I'm gonna go Shea Adams to get one and Aribo, and I just see Southampton look, I would say, better than Wolves currently. They've faced some tough teams, grinded out some good results, obviously against my club Chelsea. Tottenham, they started well but fell off because Tottenham were quite dominant in that day, and just think they've had a tough start to the season, but I think this could be like the Volta, the turning point for them. And I think, for Wolves, Nunes will probably get the goal.
It's fair. I think this is a really weird game. I think this is the toughest game to predict so far this week. I can't think what the others are. I think Arsenal United might be quite difficult to predict, but I think so far this one is the hardest. I'm not too sure, because I think Wolves are decent defensively, and Guedes has looked good for them. Obviously Nunes as well in midfield, but I think Southampton at the moment, they're just on form, and they go through these really good runs of form and then really bad patches of form, and I think they'll continue their good run of form with a 2-0 win.
I completely agree with George in the fact that it's so hard to predict these Premier League games in a minute, because every team in the league right now is getting mixed bag of results, and it's still early days, it's unpredictable. Just everyone is a bit inconsistent. But this game, I was originally going to agree with Ryan and say 2-1 Southampton, but I've just changed in the last few seconds. I'm going to say 2-2. Because I think there's going to be a penalty.
Wolves to score 2
for
goals.
Wolves. And I have an inkling that 8 Nuri's going to score. I don't know why. I can just see his name on the score sheet at the end. And
he's had a dream about this last night.
I reckon it's going to be a red card to Wolves. And a penalty to Southampton as well. I don't know why I'm going into such details, but 2-2 is the...
touching on Southampton, the reason I think they're going to keep a clean sheet is Bella Kotchap looked very good against United.
Oh, he's looked
They also
so
signed
good.
Duja Kaletakar from Marseille, who's a very good centre-back. Quite a few Premier League clubs have been after him. I imagine they'll put him straight in their team after getting rid of Bednarek as well.
Croatian bloke, isn't he?
Yeah, he's Croatian. A lot of Premier League clubs have been after him. He's relatively young, like just under mid-20s, I think. 24, 25.
The half-5 kick-off is who?
Did we hit on prediction for that? We did, didn't we?
Yeah.
You went first. Yeah. Aston Villa v Manchester City at Villa Park.
I'm going to be brutally honest and go for a 4-0 Man City victory.
Close.
I think Stevie G, he's lost the plot. He's got no clue what he's doing. He still thinks he's one of the best midfielders of all time. He's still reliving his playing days through some of his players, but I just think...
What's he on about?
I just think he's too focused on not actually managing the game. He's too focused on his players. I just think
is that not what he's supposed to focus on?
No, but he's not focused on doing tactics.
Formations and tacticians.
He's gone. Nah, get out the window. He's more focused on doing the corner kick routine.
So you think he's more of a more interested in the coaching role than the managerial?
Yeah.
Okay.
A coaching role probably would suit him better. I just think Stevie G it's a hard one to do for him because he's signed so many talent. So he can't really say he hasn't got the talent because he has, but he just can't use it well. And I think he'll be out the door next week probably. After he loses 4-0.
Yeah, well, do you know what? Despite all that waffle that meant absolutely nothing to anyone, I am mostly agreed with Ryan. I'm going to go for a 3-0 City win instead of 4-0.
So it's all waffling and you agree with
No,
me?
because you're waffling at Gerrard for no reason.
Yeah, because he's not a good manager, is he?
Just City are just like...
He's good at what?
He's good at corner kick routines.
Like, City are just unstoppable at the moment.
Did you not know they scored 3 corners directly from the corner in the last 3 matches?
There's 2 in the last 2, actually.
Okay, still.
Yeah, that's just Douglas Reece whipping in corners where Arsenal one time. But anyway, you, shut up. We need to do our predictions. We're going to go for 3-0 City, I think. Do you know what? I'm going to call it back-to-back hat-tricks for Haaland.
Really?
Might as well go for it. Go big or go home.
I'll follow up and say 5-0 Man City.
Jesus.
Poor
Villa.
Yeah, it's just... I don't know, I'm thinking of Villa, and the first player I think of is Luca Digne. Because he's just so mediocre, and he just gets their team that... I don't know, Everton, he's
You're lucky
good.
Ryan's decided to streak for you here.
Oh, hang on.
He's got a Gerrard shirt on.
Gerrard
I
out.
don't think they can see that.
Yeah, they couldn't see
Oh,
that.
wait.
Or something else.
Where do you
You're
reckon?
too high up.
Right.
No, everyone knows it's Gerrard there.
It's Gerrard on the back of his shirt.
You still can you see? Yeah, you can see
Yeah.
it now, but it's the wrong way around anyway.
Anyway,
Fuck.
Anyways,
Apologise for that.
5-0. I reckon 2 for Haaland, 1 for Bernardo Silva, and
De Bruyne.
De Bruyne to get 1, and maybe even Foden off the bench to get 1.
I'm going to go with 4-0 to Man City, and I think who's going to score is going to be Julian Alvarez is going to get 1. Haaland will get 2, and Bernardo Silva will get 1.
You on
I'll
form?
say-
Yeah.
Okay. Sunday
And the next
then.
game.
So Brighton versus Leicester City. You start with Tom.
I'm
Right.
going to go with 2-1 to Brighton. I think
2-1.
it could be a little bit tighter, but I think Leicester haven't looked
dicey.
amazing. I think they lost Fofana to Chelsea. I think they've got a new player.
They did
centre-back
actually
in.
sign a centre back, which was
I
surprising.
don't know what his name was, like
Wow,
Faces
Faze.
or something.
Wow,
Faces.
Faces.
Wow,
I'll call him
Faze.
that.
Feces.
Feces. Anyway, hopefully.
Leicester
Can
play
do that, I
like
think so.
PCs at the moment.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Oh, come on.
So
I think
George.
for Brighton,
Uh,
Oh, isn't that done?
Tom's still going.
it's just the goal threat isn't really there. We've got all the creativity, but it's just like.
You don't have a striker
Yeah, I
to
think
clear away.
Trossard's going to get 2. Who's going to score for Leicester? Who's it?
Who are you asking me?
Vardy.
And Vardy. Yeah, well,
But I don't think he's on the point.
this game is. I mean, Leicester just look so poor this season so far. They have finally signed a centre back, but I don't think it's enough for them to really turn around what they've done so far. I think January will be a big time for them, but I think for this game, Brighton to win 2-0. Leicester just looked so far off it against United. In the second half, they did improve a bit, but United weren't playing that well themselves really, and I think Brighton will dominate them just like they've done this season already against teams like Newcastle, and 2-0 Brighton win.
Well, I'm going to have to agree. 2-0 Brighton win. I just think Leicester, they just don't have that final third finish anymore. I mean, they dominated United with passing, but in the final third, they couldn't create anything, and I just think that will be their downfall, and I think Brighton's defence is pretty solid. Not really going to get past that, and I think, Brighton with Gross and I'm going to go for Welbeck to score.
Yeah. Well, my only question or issue with this prediction, which I still agree with, is the fact that Brighton might be low on confidence after losing to Fulham, but I think they'll bounce back because Potter's shown he's a good manager. So
Yeah, I don't think that this year it's going to be the same in terms of Brighton
Hang
going
on,
through
you just said I've got a problem with your prediction, but predicted the exact
No,
same.
I'm saying that's the
Oh,
only issue I can see
with
with.
everyone. So.
Oh,
Anyway, I was going to say Potter as well. No, I can't remember what I was saying now. 'Cause you interrupted me. I said Brighton. I don't think this year they're going to go through the same poor patch of form like they did last year. What was it?
There's
6 games
3
without
months
goals.
where they didn't
didn't
like.
really even score.
Mr. Davies,
But
Mr. Potter
no, I'm not
out.
going to say anything. But I don't want to speak too soon. Leicester, I did predict to finish 15th, and it's actually looking more and more likely by the day. But it's still early days, so.
No, it's looking like they're
I
going to
predicted
finish
them to finish
20th.
way too high. I was like 8th, 9th.
Yeah, but
I said 11.
But Brendan Rodgers, I think he's kind of just lost interest. That's what it seems to me. Yeah, even in the
Is he
interview,
falling out?
in the intro, interviews, he's just looking around the room I just want to go home.
Rude.
But I was originally going to agree and say 2-0 Brighton, but I think Leicester probably will score even though it's away from home, so I'm going to go 3-1 Brighton.
Oh, is that the Amex? Is it?
Is that the Amex?
Oh, well.
You're a bit popping off there then?
We always
You
play
watching?
terrible at home, to be fair.
You watching it?
He's got a
They're
stadium.
away merchants.
He's
That's what they are.
got
Yeah, we
Season
don't play
ticket.
better.
Well,
Right.
unless you're at Craven Cottage.
Next game up anyway.
This is the last one. Old Trafford, Man United.
United, Arsenal, the big game of the weekend. Who wants to go first? Who wants to start?
You know
off with the
what?
first game?
Oh, I say Tom.
I'm going to go with 2-0 to Arsenal on this one.
Oh,
I don't
I think that's.
I think Arsenal, they've looked promising. They haven't played anyone amazing, but I still think they're going to beat the United side. I think United looked alright, but it's nothing amazing really. As you said, they weren't overly convincing against Leicester either. So I think who's going to score for Arsenal? I think Jesus is going to bag 2 goals.
I'm going to have to counter offer that and go with 2-0 to Manchester United.
Oh,
I mean, Arsenal are worse than Liverpool and they beat Liverpool 2-1. I just think
we've been over this
Arsenal-
though. There's no correlation
Yeah, but
in
Arsenal-
results. in the
Arsenal
Premier
take
League.
Arsenal are frauds. They can only do it against easy teams. Just
How do you know
wait,
if that's
just
the-
wait till North
they-
London derby. they'll get smashed.
How do you know that if
probably.
they haven't played a big team?
Trust me, they will lose 2-0.
Well, okay, Ryan's just stupid.
I just don't like
Do you want-
Arsenal.
Yeah, I can go next if you want. This is probably the hardest game to predict, let's face it, of the weekend.
Yeah, probably.
I'm torn between 3 different results. The first being Man United to win 2-1, the second being a goalless draw. with
That's
both
what
teams
I was
are
thinking,
awful.
goal or straw.
But I think now I'm going to say 1-1. Meet in the middle. Arsenal, I reckon, will score. I reckon it'll be like Saliba or someone like an unlikely candidate.
Yeah.
And United, I don't know what it is with United at the minute. They're winning games, but 1-0, 1-0.
They're playing
2-1.
really bad at the same
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
They've been lucky to get those wins, really.
Did you see the Ronaldo overhead kick against yesterday?
So
that was,
close.
I reckon he's going to score in this one, Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon he gets
Stand
both the
by.
goals for United.
Yeah.
1-1.
Well, my prediction, I'm really not sure about this game. There's so many different results you could realistically predict. I think Arsenal winning is probably most likely and arguably should happen if you look at the form and the way they played so far this season. But it's kind of weird because United, they've been managing to win despite the fact they've been playing awful. So either Arsenal will pick up on the times where other teams should have been able to score against them and get the result, or that I think it could end like just a 0-0 draw of United sitting back and just holding back for the draw basically. So I'm really unsure about this game, and I think United will sit back and defend, but I think Arsenal will just about pip it towards the end of the game with a 1-0 Arsenal win.
Oh,
That I can see that happening now, you mentioned that.
now that
Stick
does
to it then.
conclude our predictions for this game weekend. It was game week 6, wasn't it?
Game week 6, you can
I
remember
mean,
this.
I remembered it now, don't you worry. I just think that it was a very good video. Some definite waffle from me about Gerrard, but he's going to get sacked, isn't he?
Who doesn't enjoy the waffle anyway?
Who's next in the sack race then? We've passed
Mr.
three,
Editor doesn't enjoy the waffle.
Lampard, Gerrard.
Gerrard.
I'm not saying that order, I'm just saying those are the candidates, basically.
I reckon Gerrard and Lampard, if they get thumped
Yeah,
this
they're
weekend,
the,
they're out.
they're kind of the usual suspects. They're
At Fulham,
Dumb and Dumber.
at
You
Fulham,
are the
Marco
weakest
Silva's
link.
never got complete job security, so they could go on a really bad run of form and get replaced.
Thing is,
And I think your man, Ancient Peru, Bruno Lage, could probably...
I think he's
see
alright.
again,
I think you know
If
what?
Wilson gets some
I think
results, he's
they're going to
alright.
go Gerrard and Lampard. You are the weakest link, and goodbye.
For God's sake.
Okay.
Alright, he's waffling now. Let's wrap this up.
Thank you, Anne Robinson.
It's a good video.
Well
If you watched this far, thanks for watching this much. And despite
get a
all of
free cookie.
this kid's waffle, and yeah, remember
It's probably
to
a butchered 10 minutes anyway.
remember to like and subscribe, get your notifications on because every little helps. Thanks for watching.
Yeah.